Welcome back, everybody. My name is Abby, and today I want to talk about ways to modify twists if you have a fused spine. So I have my spine fused from T5 through L3 from scoliosis surgery. Maybe you do too. And so if you have a long spinal fusion like mine, you may have noticed that twisting or rotating your spine is uncomfortable at best and downright painful or impossible at worst. So today I want to show you a few alternatives to some of the common twisting poses that we would see in a yoga class. So the first one I want to show you is our supine or reclined twist. I won't show you the twist part, but I will show you an alternative to the twist part. So if I was in a yoga class, I might be cued to pull one knee in, extend the other leg, and then twist by taking my knee over to the opposite side of my body. That's not going to work for me. So instead, I usually come into eye of the needle pose, crossing my right ankle over my left thigh, and then drawing my knee in towards me. So if everybody else in the class is enjoying their nice, deep, relaxed supine twist, I am just coming to this instead. I'm not twisting my spine, but I still feel a nice stretch for the outer hip, which I would also feel probably if I were in the twist. I'll show you the other side. So instead of taking the knee across the body and twisting, I am instead coming to eye of the needle. It's super simple, still getting some space and openness here in my outer left hip, but my spine stays safe and happy. The second modification I want to show you is for the lunge twist. So if I were in class, I might be cued to step one foot forward, keep the other leg behind, and then twist into a lunge twist. Again, I'm not going to do that because it just doesn't work for my spine. So instead of a lunge twist, I might do a tiny little bit of a twist, kind of opening my chest towards the side, but I'm really not rotating my vertebrae very much. So instead, usually, I will come into horizon lunge, which you may have seen in my previous strength videos. It's a lovely pose that is similar to a lunge twist. As you can see, it's a very similar shape. But instead of my leg being forward and then having to revolve my vertebrae, I'm revolving my whole body. So it's not a twist, but again, it still has elements of that twist, just like eye of the needle had elements of the supine twist. So I'm still getting a stretch for my outer hip, which I would feel if I were in a twist. And I'm getting some nice space across the front of my chest. My back leg is still nice and strong. It still has a lot of the same elements of a twist, even though it does not require my vertebrae twisting. The third variation I want to show you is for revolved chair pose. So we would start in chair pose for this. And once again, instead of rotating my torso or my trunk to the side, I am going to instead do an isometric twist, which you may again want to watch the strength videos for scoliosis spinal fusion. We talk a lot about isometric strength in those. But this is a different sort of configuration and different variation of the isometric strength. So I'm going to start here with my hands in prayer, and then I'm going to take one hand, my right hand, between my knees, and I'm going to press outward. And as I press outward with my hand, I'm pulling my knee in, so I'm not actually moving, but I'm feeling some strength in my obliques. I'll show you from the front. So chair pose, my feet are a little wide, about hips distance. Hand goes in between the knees, and then I'm going to press outward, firing up my belly and my shoulder to some degree, but mostly my belly. And I'm still feeling the strength that I would find in a twist in my obliques without having to rotate. So I'll try the other side here too. Left hand is going to go in between the knees. Back of hand is going to press into the inner left knee. I'm pressing out, I'm pulling in with my knee, and I'm feeling my obliques, my deep abdominal muscles engaging here. The last variation I want to show you today is a variation on seated twist. Starting like you would come into a seated twist, stepping, in this case, the left leg or foot across the bottom leg. lifting up, and then instead of rotating my body towards the left, I could either just stay right here. That might be enough, that might be fun. I might get a nice stretch in my left outer hip. Again, hopefully you're seeing a theme here, the outer hip. Or I could come into Gomukhasana, so again, a seated outer hip stretch with my knees more or less stacked, or even Sukhasana. I could stay upright or I could fold forward. So all of these variations, especially the last two, will stretch the outer hip, which would also be getting a stretch to some degree if we were twisting, but we don't have to twist to feel that sensation. So I'll do the other side. First variation, bottom leg long, top foot stepped across, and then I'm just lifting my heart as I hug my knee in. No twisting involved, but I'm finding a nice long spine, a little bit engaged in the back body, and perhaps a little stretch in my outer right hip. Second variation, Gomukhasana legs, so tucking bottom foot kind of to the outside of my outer hip. I'll show you this from the side or from the front. So my feet are to either side of my hips. My knees are stacked-ish, and I'm feeling a pretty strong stretch in my outer hips. So I could be here, or even Sukhasana, which is a pretty simple pose, but can feel really, really nice, especially as we start to fold forward. So there you have a few variations to try for reclined twist, lunge twist, a chair twist, and a seated twist. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.